Yeah, right. Fantastic discovery here has been made. We knew this all along, but apparently the MIT captured the exact moment of life, and it's mathematically perfect, right? So this whole thing about sacred geometry and the Fibonacci sequence and the sacred number and the golden ratio and all this stuff. Where does this all come from? Well, it comes from this here, right? This is the most precious thing, and if you think that for any kind of reason that an 8-day old developing human is it's okay to to snuff out. Well, man, you got a harsh reality at the end of your let's say for example you take your last breath and you're still in this incorrect assumption. You're going to find out. You really are going to find out. You're going to be thrown in hell, right? So let's read this. For the first time in human history, scientists witnessed the precise instant human development initiates. What they observed wasn't biological randomness; it was orchestrated precision. I mean, it's clearly intelligent design. Right? It's clearly intelligent design. This whole thing about this, Darwinian. I mean, who would actually seriously put forward such a garbage idea, right? Yeah, at this point in time, with the technologies that we have, technology should be advanced. Medical science, we still need to advance that, but isn't it like very obvious that intelligent design is the only possible conclusion to this kind of idea? Fertilization's exact moment, a coordinated biochemical wave erupts across the egg's surface. This isn't gradual activation, it's instantaneous. It's an instantaneous on switch. Let's put this in times. Yeah, there you go. It looks a little bit better. Let's get this a little bit bigger here. Okay. All right. So this isn't gradual activation. It's an instantaneous on switch. So that's what I'm trying to say here is that people like Dr. Michelle Dow, this on switch, she does not have the authority or she what's she doing here? She's literally playing Jesus and God, right? By shutting off or killing, right? Killing this baby, right? That's exactly what she's doing. It sends shivers up and down my spine. What she's doing, what she has done, what she's gonna be guilty of on the judgment day. Man, I wouldn't want to be her in her I want to be in her shoes because she's going to lose it. Right? She's going to be cast in hell forever. I mean, let's say, for example, the intelligent design is true, then for sure there's a hell for the punishment for this terrible, terrible crime. This is a transgression so great. I can't think of any more greater transgressions. Right? That's what scares me. Right. All right. I'll read this. At fertilization's exact moment, a coordinated biochemical wave erupts across the egg's surface. This isn't gradual activation, it's an instantaneous on switch, a cascading molecular signal that transforms a dormant cell into the blueprint for an entire human being. Time is zero, life's starting gun. What stunned MIT researchers wasn't just this happens, but how it happened. Okay. The activation wave moves in rhythmic, structured patterns followed mathematical proportions found throughout nature. The same ratios governing the spiral galaxy. I mean, oh, this is nonsense, right? This kind of idea about heliocentrism, right? So I don't know where that comes from, but it's very, very difficult to get away from this heliocentrism. So we're going to, what are we going to do? We're going to ignore that for a minute. Yeah, just ignore that. So the heliocentrism, I'm not pushing heliocentrism at all. If you still believe in that kind of idea, so what are they doing? Right now, this article is mixing heliocentrism and Darwinism with intelligent design. Right, so you got to make up your mind. Well, what do you want to do? Intelligent design, or do you want to do Big Bang? Right, which one do you want? Right, so the spiral galaxies, whatever. Um, no, 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 Nautilus shells. Those are Nautilus shells. Sunflower seed arrangement and hurricane formations. The golden ratio, Fibonacci sequences, universal mathematical constants appearing at life's very first moment. This suggests something profound. Organization precedes consciousness. Older exists before brain. Sorry, order. Sorry, order exists before brain, before nervous system, before any structure capable of creating order. the instruction the instructions for building complexity are embedded at the origin point itself. We've always known that fertilization starts development, but seeing it reveals life doesn't stumble into existence through chemical accidents, gradually organizing. It ignites with purpose, structured signals, and executing a predetermined biological program with geometric precision. Noteworthy is the fact that today, I actually found the gender of my new baby. It's a girl, a girl. And today, she went to the ultrasound anyway. I was able to find out it's a girl, which I kind of knew. I mean, ever since my grandmother died and this new baby came, man. Well, you know what happened? My new baby, died. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry about that. My grandmother died, and then my new baby June was this process here. So what happened? My grandmother, I can't lose my grandmother. I mean, that's just not possible. So I can't lose my grandmother. And then this new baby came, right? So then was this like and don't even start. I'm not going to get into reincarnation because that's not true. There's no reincarnation. But it's the whole thing about reincarnation. That's the not the Talmudic one, but the Zohar, right? The Kabbalah, right? The Kabbalah is the reincarnation. If you don't know anything about that, just research the Kabbalah. It's Jewish Kabbalah, and that's nonsense, right? The idea of reincarnation and karma and all this stuff, that's nonsense. Eckhart Tolle and the Hindus and all this stuff, Buddhism and all this stuff, that's nonsense. It's the only thing that is Jewish mysticism, and it's the reincarnation. So I'm not at all suggesting reincarnation. It'll be folly. But I am suggesting that it's like a replacement. I do. I miss my grandmother so much I can't even fathom the idea of I just think she's there sitting in her chair, but she's in a pine box under the ground. I mean, she was buried and all this stuff because she died, and but this new baby came. All right, so this new baby, I'm not suggesting it's the same one. This is not my grandmother. This is my new baby girl. So having to go through this and imagine how egregious this crime that my own cousin did, killing. That's the thing. There's an on switch here. This on switch, you have no business lying to these, sometimes underage girls and lying to them. You have no business at all doing that. You have no business doing that. She's exceedingly guilty. Like there's no. See, the crime is the greatest crime in history. The probative element is 100%, right? There's no doubt at all. And she's living in a big brick mansion and she's free. And she's the bank account is it's so unjust. So this YouTube channel is getting pushed by the algorithm, and all this stuff. It's injustice. We're documenting injustice, and this is the whole point about documenting injustice is that oh, you're a loser. You didn't get the conviction or whatever. Well, she didn't get an acquittal. So she did not get an acquittal. Let's say, for example, she were to get an acquittal. Let's say, for example, after exhausting all the appeals and she were to get an acquittal, then, but, it always stops at the investigation all the time. There's an investigation. Now it's at the civilian review. Now, the civilian review, that's going to be, then after that, the appeal to the federal court. We're still going on to that. The criminal investigation is still ongoing. Because this is certainly a crime, right? To do what she did. Yeah, the whole point of this YouTube channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'll see you. Take care. Bye bye.